So here we are, we're at Hervey Bay Airport. If I can just angle up, there we go. We can see that. So you can see here we're at the front of the airport, and we've booked in our bags, all ready to go. And we're heading to Brisbane first, and then what we're then doing is we're staying there for about an hour, and then after that we then head on down to Melbourne. So we'll be in Melbourne at about 4:15. So spending the whole day traveling, but I've got my gorgeous, beautiful wife to keep me company, which will be awesome.
And today's topic is long distance relationships. Of course, we are traveling a long distance today, and we're going to be answering some questions: how to have a long distance relationship, how to keep passion alive in it, and any of the pitfalls that you may come across and how to overcome them. So we hope you join us, and you're watching A.L.T. Adventure Love Travel.
Okay, see ya. Bye.
Bye. Welcome back. Today's topic is about how to thrive in a long distance relationship, and what better place to shoot on location than the Hervey Bay Airport, right? So I believe these types of relationships are more common than ever before. In the age of the World Wide Web, people are connecting online with each other from all over the globe. The days of finding your soulmate in the local bar has changed to finding a mate just beyond the computer screen. The problem is, Mr. and Miss Right can be hundreds of miles away.
That's right, sweetheart. We both have lots of experience in LDR, long distance relationships. We started our relationship living over, 4 hours away? You know, I lived in Hervey Bay and Lynn lived in Brisbane. And it was over a year and a half before my darling goddess packed up everything to move to here, Hervey Bay.
Yeah, we met online, and there was an instant connection we couldn't deny. Our chemistry was off the charts, and he was like no one I've ever met before. I was so excited, but also really doubtful at first. I'd done the long distance relationship, LDR, before, and it came with a lot of frustration and loneliness. But I was willing to give it a go. I'm really glad it did, because now I'm married to the most amazing man on earth.
Well, I'm glad you gave it a go too, mate. Otherwise, well, we may never have met or got married and live in a beautiful, blissful relationship that we have now. So the upside was we had to find lots of ways to grow our relationship whilst being apart, and I believe that really helped provide such a great foundation for us. When you feel as though you can overcome the challenges of an LDR, you really feel as though you've the makings of a great, resilient and healthy relationship. One of the positive things about LDR is that you develop a high level of appreciation. Because you only have so few moments together. For me, I savoured every time I had with you. I developed such a great sense of gratitude for the connection that we shared in those fleeting moments.
So whether it's by phone, text, email or video chat, to connect to someone, the relationship relies upon emotionally connecting in order for it to grow. So you can't just jump into bed when you both feel the early blushes of arousal. I know, crazy, right? Long distance creates a relationship that relies on communication rather than physical desires, which can sometimes distract or overtake the direction of the relationship. So LDR builds a bond that isn't just sexual. It grows from getting to really know each other on a deeper level before jumping into the physical arena.
However, it wasn't always easy. You know, there is a downside to being in a long distance relationship. One of the hardest things is to resolve issues that come up in the relationship, because you are so far apart and you really need to rely on great communication to find solutions. There might also be periods when you can't talk to each other, which may further exacerbate the situation. And another part is the roller coaster of feelings when you have limited physical contact. That would swing from being on a really big high when I was with you to feeling really sad when we have to separate and enlarge the periods in between. It was so frustrating during our separation when all we desired was to be back in each other's arms as soon as possible. There were times in our relationship where we wouldn't see each other for over a month. When you went to Europe, baby, it was so hard for us. We were separated on different sides of the world, which really exaggerated that feeling of disconnection.
For me, the hardest part of LDR is the lack of affection. So when all I wanted to do was to hold Adam, I had to wait until we could schedule time to meet each other in each other's city. He was just so far away, and that made the loneliness 10 times worse. So when you can't connect physically or unable to see your partner whenever you want, irrational thoughts can pop up into your mind. Right? So on a side note, we talk about irrational thoughts in another segment on our channel. So the link is below and you can check that out. But some of these irrational thoughts were, are they on the same page as me? Do they feel the same feelings that I feel? Do they miss me? Are they thinking of me? When you go for long periods without physical contact, it's not always easy to read someone's interest in you. So trust is also a big leap of faith when your love interest is a long way away.
Yep. So the question is, with so many challenges, how can you make an LDR thrive?
We're going to give you our personal insights based upon what helped us, which means it's time for Lovebird Tips. Tip number 1, be consistent with communication. Whether it's texts, phone calls, emails, or video calls, make time to regularly chat to your honey. Adam used to call me the same time every day, and I looked forward to his calls. If you aren't consistent and your partner's faced with silence, with unknown reasons, it can cause havoc with uncertainty. And this in turn can lead to misunderstandings, hurt feelings, and possibly a breakup. So be consistent with how often you communicate. Ask them how often they would like you to text or phone, or if a certain time is better than another.
Yep. So tip number 2, if you're really missing your partner, a video call is the best form of communication. Receiving a text or hearing my gorgeous wife's sexy voice, that was really good. But video call, that just made my day. I can see Lynn's beautiful, gorgeous smile and her hypnotic eyes, and I can read her body language so much better, and it makes it feel as though she's in the room with me. So I get so much more satisfaction out of a video call than any other form of communication.
Tip number 3, exchanged unwashed t-shirts. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not suggesting you give them a gym t-shirt, but just one that you've worn to bed overnight or for a day. Something that has the other person's scent on it. When I was missing Adam, I would cuddle up to his shirt and even wear it to bed. My sense of smell would make me feel as if he was near me, and strangely that was really comforting.
So tip number 4, be creative in showing you care. Just because you're miles apart doesn't mean you can't send her handwritten love notes or flowers. So send him a card that just says you're thinking of him, or send him a bottle of his favourite drink. And if you know your partner is getting home late from work, arrange a meal to arrive when they get home. Or if she's sick, send chicken soup, orange juice, a fruit basket, something to say, you know what, even though I'm not there, this is my way of showing you that I really want to care for you.
Tip number 5, schedule quality time by creating a date night where you sit down to eat at the same time and talk via video call. You can even watch the same movie and discuss what you liked afterwards. The point is you're connecting and communicating even if you aren't in the same room.
So tip number 6, try to make time to actually visit each other physically whenever you can. Clear your calendar and jump on a plane like we are here, or go on a road trip. Do whatever you need to do to connect in person. This revitalizes your relationship so much. So put the time and effort in, people, because seeing that person is really important.
Tip number 7, create a code for when things aren't going so well. Your partner can't read your mind, and they can't hear tone in a text. So if you're struggling with something in your relationship, let the other person know. Adam and I came up with Code Red. Code Red is when one of us is having a hard day, or there was a misunderstanding and is struggling with a long distance and the reassurance is needed. I would text Code Red to Adam and he would know immediately that he needs to contact me as soon as he can. You may not be there for them physically, but you can be there for them emotionally.
Yeah, it's a stroke and run. Okay, tip number 8, no ghosting. This deserves a tip all to itself. Ghosting is when One person just stops all form of communication as if they've fallen off the face of the earth with no reason whatsoever. Ghosting is really hurtful and creates confusion for the other person. It can leave them with really frustrating thoughts of what went wrong. This can also trigger self-esteem issues for the other person. Don't do it. If you're having trouble or having doubts in a relationship, communicate those concerns. If you really need to end the relationship, then give that other person the respect and the closure that they need, not just silence.
Tip number 9. Allowing yourself to be vulnerable is key in an LDR or any relationship for that matter. Inevitably, issues will pop up. There'll be obstacles along the way. So being transparent in your feelings will go a long way in helping find solutions and create emotional connection and intimacy.
Yep. So tip number 10. Create healthy boundaries. Express what is okay and what is not okay with you. Holding back your feelings for fear of pushing them away can always cause resentment for yourself and confusion for them. There's a great quote, "What is meant for you will not pass you by." So be open and honest with yourself and with your partner. That is really important.
It is. Those were our Lovebird tips on how to thrive in a long-distance relationship. If you'd like a copy of the tips, go to ALTstudios72.com.
So thank you for watching ALT Adventure Love Travel. Subscribe to our channel and feel free to share this video.
Until next week, we hope you have a wildly passionate relationship. Bye.
Bye.